everyone, welcome back. It's Kat here for another video. So interesting, this topic. So we're gonna go there. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Canadian healthcare versus Japanese healthcare. And when I lump Canadian healthcare, I'm lumping in probably most socialized healthcare found in Europe and Australia and New Zealand, because we're all very similar. Not the same, putting it out there, but very similar, because I also stayed in Australia, so I know from a little bit of my experience from dealing with doctors there, it is similar to Canadian. So we'll first start with Canadian healthcare. So Canadian healthcare is not free. Not free. Putting it out away, it's not free. People think it's free because you don't have to go into the doctor and pay the doctor for you to see them afterwards. So people assume, oh, it's free. It's not. The healthcare service has $7,000 put away for every person per year for the basic health insurance that you get there, which includes the doctor visit. It includes some of your medication. Not everything is covered. So if one medication that you need to get isn't covered, you got to pay full price for that one there. And extractions for dental. That is it. If you are a child, you get more services provided because they only allow that up to age 18. So as a minor, you get more health benefits. When you're an adult, they're gone. That's it. Then you have to either hope to God your company has a health insurance plan or deal with the crappy MCP plan where you get a card. It's the MCP card. You show that to your doctor. That's your basic healthcare. That, along with something that most Canadians do not know, the government not only controls how much money goes into each healthcare. So for a clinic to get, upgrades and get paid, all that stuff, it's done through the government. So they get allotted however much per year for certain things. They also have quotas. I learned that recently. Quotas for each service that someone may need to have. So say if you need to go to a specialist because you have something going on with your throat or something that you need a specialist for. Someone that your family doctor just does not do, like get scans, blood work, all sorts of other testing. There is quotas put on each of those services of how many people can get that service per month. I'm pretty sure that is correct, per month. If you have to go see them, you will be usually put on a list, depending on how many people are on that quota list, so for that month. So you could wait either maybe 2 weeks, or you could wait up to 6 months to a year. It could be that long that you're waiting to be seen. I'm not kidding. There are people who are on desperate need to have surgery and need to have it soon, like really soon, because they overlooked the cancer, they didn't notice it, and it's to be done as soon as possible. But the surgery time could be so long that they could die. So a lot of people either go pay for a private care in Canada to be seen, or they go to America and take out a loan, whatever they need to do to save their family member's life or whoever it is. That's the ugly truth. People don't know about it, but that is what happens because the Canadian government only allots so many people in at a time for each service. And you don't usually have to pay for that usually. There is some costs that you do have to pay, like surgeries. There's going to be, you will have to pay for surgery, but it's not, I don't know how much it costs for each surgery, so I'm not getting into that, but you still have to pay for some surgeries. Not only that, wherever I have been, you go to a family doctor. It is very hard to find a family doctor recently, especially in the last few years. I've heard it's very, very hard. I couldn't find a family doctor when I was staying in Vancouver because they were all full, the ones that were closest to me and accessible, obviously. I had to go to a clinic kind of thing where people don't have a family doctor to be sent to get things done or get, like for my insomnia, which I have, they just gave me a prescription for it. So that wasn't so bad. But if you have other things, yeah, so you have to go to a family doctor to get anything done. I'm not sure about America. I don't know if you need a family doctor to be told where to go, or, you know, for a specialized care or anything like that. But in Canada, you need a family doctor. When I went back to my home, my family doctor that I had for years moved to the mainland, which for Newfies, people in Newfoundland, they will call anyone on the rest of Canada mainlanders. So they're on the mainland. A lot of doctors go to the mainland or America because they get better pay, better living situation. So my doctor left, and so I had to find a new one, and the one that I found was a lot further away from my house where I was living, so I was always going to have to take a huge, well, it's not a huge commute, it's 20 minutes, but I'd have to walk to get a bus, and then bus systems there are terrible, so I'm not getting into that. So, but yes, in Canada you need to see your family doctor and hope that you find one, because if not, it's really hard. You'd have to go to public healthcare one where you could be waiting like a very long time to see a doctor. In Canada, once you do go see the doctor, this is the worst part. It's very old technology. Like, all of this stuff looks like it's been there since the 80s or the early 90s. Like, it does not look new. There are some clinics, like I went with my sister, that looks newish, like it looks fancy kind of thing, but that is a lot further and in a different part of town. So she was lucky to get this. It was a dentist and her doctor, I believe, was in a building that was just made. So luckily it looks new and it's a little bit more nicer. But every doctor I've been to looks like it was in the 80s. And everything that they have is all like, you know, old looking and not very current. It's just the 80s, pretty much. Yeah, the other problem is the doctors are overworked, underpaid. And so when you get there, even if you have an appointment, you're there early, you still have to wait. Most of the time, you'll be there 10-15 minutes after, waiting in the waiting room. And then you finally get called. And then you're in the room, nobody's there but you, so you're waiting again. It's called the two-wait system. You wait to be put into another room to wait again. And then when the doctor finally sees you, they're rushing you to try and get you out as quick as possible so they can move on to somebody else. And so if you have more than one problem, you're gonna have some fun trying to get through each problem, because this may be the only time that you have to be able to get all of it out at once. Like, if you go with 3 problems, you're going to get that look of like, okay, like, judgment. That's pretty much the look. So I would tell them, okay, so this is going on. By then I was not getting my normal insomnia pills, so I would just get a refill. That would be my first thing. And then the second thing, she would be, okay, I'll fill a prescription for you here now, And then I would say, oh, and I got this issue started with my finger. And she was like, oh, when did it start? And blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it's just a small pain in my finger, and it just started about a month or 2 ago. I was like, oh, well, we can see if we can get you in to see somebody about that. And it could take a little bit of time, but someone should call you. I'm like, okay. And then she's always there, whatever I'm saying. So, And in Canada, that's rushing you. Like, okay, yeah, all right, get out. And so yeah, that's my experience with doctors, no matter where I went in Canada. So I've been in 2 cities. That's pretty much how it was. The one in Vancouver was a little bit more laid back because it was a women's health care service where they didn't have like a ton of people going there, but it was enough to still get the kind of rush feeling you will get with my normal doctor. Anyway, so that is what Canadian healthcare is. It covers almost nothing, barely anything, and you still will have to pay for care. Like, that's insane. People think, oh yeah, it's free. No, it's not. You'll end up paying for a lot of it out of pocket yourself. Optometry, not included. Your physiotherapy probably isn't included. I don't know, because I was on the road to physiotherapy, but I never got to it, so I can't quote on that. So that is what the Canadian socialized healthcare is like. It is not good. It's not good. Moving on to the Japanese one, I got here and I got on my husband's national healthcare system pretty much, and it's through his job. So there's two forms of this. Your job could either pay for it, and you don't have to pay for the basic health insurance, which is the national health insurance. So the company pays into that for you as a worker. Or if it's not paid, you have to pay it, and it goes by how much income you make. So if you're not making that much money, you're not going to spend as much money as someone else who's making like maybe $3,000 a month. So say if you're making $1,500, it's going to be a lot smaller compared to someone who's making more than you. So that's a really good system for those who can't afford to pay like the normal price. So it goes case by case, which allows the government to get more money into the healthcare system, so it's distributed a lot better. So what happens is your medical optometry, I think, if you go to a actual optometrist, I haven't done that yet, so don't quote me on that, dental and physiotherapy, stuff like that, basic care is provided for you. So say if you go to a doctor, you have to pay for seeing the doctor. So that is only 30% what you have to pay. So anything that you get done, including your medications, you pay 30%. And then the 70% is coming from the national healthcare system. So that's why people put money in and then they get the services back. And so everyone's not sick every single day of the year. So someone who is paying into it is getting a good service back with that, everyone pooling that money into that system. Now, when I first got into it, and I started getting seen for my finger because I had, it started getting really bad when I got to Japan. It would hurt at random times. If it got cold, it would hurt. It was just like the muscle part in here, and not on this side. I have a cartilage issue pretty much, and so yeah, I'll get into that. So I went to, here you do not go get a family doctor. Getting that out of the way, you don't have a family doctor. You go to specialized clinics. So each clinic is going to be specialized in each different kind of category. So this one was for pains, physiotherapy, stuff like that. And I explained that I started getting the pain when I was working overnights, and it just got worse and worse and worse. And so before that, we walked to the clinic, and my husband wrote out my information on the thing, gave it to them, and I thought, okay, well now that we'll just get an appointment made, and then we'll have to come back. Nope. Got seen by the doctor that day, and he said, okay, well now we're going to have to get an x-ray to see what's going on with your finger. So I thought, okay, well now I'm going to have to go to like a hospital or something to get that done. Nope. The small clinic had an x-ray machine. No clinic, like family doctor I have ever seen has an x-ray in the building. That does not exist in Canada. So I thought, okay, got my x-ray. I'm going to have to wait for my results. So we'll get an appointment. Oh, come in next week. Nope. I got to be given my results that day. And I was like, oh, that's great. He told me what was going on. He said maybe it's this little buildup in my finger. And he said it's almost like an arthritic kind of thing, but it's not anything to be worried about. It's not going to make my finger go into a weird shape or anything. It's very minor, and he thought it was coming from here and is just feeling the pain here. But he said, okay, we're going to need to do ultrasonic treatment. And I'm like, okay, so we're going to have to go to a clinic for that or something and wait to do that again. Nope. I went upstairs to the second floor and got treated that day. I started my treatment that day. The first day getting seen, including x-ray, 30% was $15 or so, so 1,500 yen under, it's around that. The next time it was 580 yen, so about $5.80. If you want to convert 580 yen into your dollar for difference in yen to whatever yours is. Just search that. So it was about 580 yen. And then the next time I went, it was 380 yen for my finger. So the treatment pretty much was like they put a gel, and then you have to put this kind of like a sonar, like little pin, and it goes beep, 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 like kind of sonar kind of sound. And afterwards it would hurt, but during, I felt nothing during that. But they wouldn't do it because they don't know where my pain is, so they just said just slowly move around, and I would do that for 10 minutes once a week. I got seen the same day. I got the doctor appointment, I got my x-ray, I got first treatment, all in one day. Unheard of in Canada. Unheard of. And so another thing, I recently started finally fixing my teeth, and that I haven't gotten done in 20 years. I'm 38 now, 20 years, because it's cut off at age 18 in Canada. So I got a lot of issues with my teeth, and we're, I'd say, about halfway through. I have another side to do, but the cost ranged from $9 to $14 for each time I went. That's it, for filling. And the most expensive one was, no, the most expensive one was 2,300 yen. And that was my metal tooth back there. He made it $23. My cousin told me he has insurance, like he has insurance through his work, and he still had to pay $200 for a filling. But Canada is free. It's magical. Healthcare in Canada is great. Not. Also, I need to mention, you have to go to individual clinics that specialize one thing. Like, say, the physiotherapy for my finger. That's pain management and physiotherapy care for any kind of pains in your body. So that's that one. Dental would be another one, so you go to a clinic for that. I got insomnia, so I go to a mental clinic for that deals with the brain. So everything has a speciality. So you have to go to whatever clinic that you have for that specific issue. Like my insomnia, that was the most expensive one, and which was awesome. It was all run by women, pretty much. The front staff was women, and the doctor was a woman who was also had her little toddler. He was like walking age, but not, great at walking at that time. But she had her son at the job, which you would not think would happen in Japan, because people would think it's a male doctor, and you would never think a woman doctor with her child, which was pretty cool. But yeah, it was expensive. It was like 15 or so bucks, so 1,500 yen just to see the doctor. We qualified, since it was a chronic illness, for a city hall discount, so I only now have to pay 500 something yen per, about $5 per visit. But also the medication would be reduced as well, because that was also expensive. And not only that, the 4 or 5 months of the care that I did get, with that little slip, we got money back for the months that I already paid for. The money that the discount gave, we got returned to us. They gave us money back. And that included the medications as well at the pharmacy. We were shocked. Like, what? Like, that would never happen in Canada. Anyway, so also, like, I have a booklet, like literally a booklet of my doctors and clinics and stuff. And I have another one for my breathing clinic, CPAP, because I have sleep apnea because of my weight. And I only learned I had it. That was part of one of the tests of being approved for weight loss surgery and getting it covered by health, like getting insurance to cover it pretty much. So I got tested, and I stopped breathing 37 times in an hour, which I thought was really bad, until a friend of mine said that he stopped breathing about 1,000 times. I was like, oh my God. So yeah. So here, that is what healthcare system is like. Another thing, quickly going into it, hospitals close. Yes, I just said that. Hospitals close. They have an opening and close time. They still provide services at after hours, but there's limited staff, and you have to obviously be brought in by ambulance. So you're not going to be like, oh yeah, dying. Oh, I'm sorry, we're closed. You can't come in. They will still take in people as, as needed. But it's not like the Canadian healthcare where people who are like not that sick. Like there's people who go in and they just have a cold or something, and they're not really that sick. Going into the emergency room, taking away time from people who are actually really sick, and that's terrible. So, and I think they're also closed on the weekends. Not 100%, but yeah, they close. That is pretty much it. I, hands down, like this system a whole lot better. Yes, you have to pay, but you're getting a lot better care. The clinics, all of them, are up to date, fancy, really nice. People there treat you so nicely. Like when I go to the dentist, there's these 2 little steps to go into the rooms to get seen to by the dentist, and they will tell you, please be careful while coming up the steps. The steps are there, please, watch out, kind of thing. And when you're leaving, they'll tell you the same thing. They are really nice and sweet to you. I've never had a bad experience with any doctor here. I've never been rushed, like even with my doctor with this. And then I also had a foot issue because when I got to my heaviest, I got plantar fasciitis and started treatment for that. Like when I got in to see the doctor, he never rushed me. He was just like, okay, listening, and he spoke English, which was great because like I am not good with Japanese yet at all. But yeah, he would just listen to you and not rush. It was great. So that's my experience. I would never want to go back home to deal with the healthcare system there ever again. It's outdated. People aren't nice at all. The ones that I had to deal with, or they're the fake nice where they're like, like, when they're being fake nice, they're just like talking about you after. I know. So yeah, that is the video, and thank you so much for watching. If you want to leave a comment down below, if you have any questions or comments that I didn't address here. I'm not saying, one thing I wanted, disclaimer, you may have a great experience in Canada with your doctor. I'm not saying every doctor is like that. I'm saying from my personal experience, what it was like for me, and it was always bad. And from experiencing being out of the country and experiencing this healthcare, I could see how bad it was. I didn't know how bad it was when I was living there, and I've never seen anything different. Trust me, it's so much more better. Even if you have to pay for it, I'd rather pay for it and get good service, good high quality, good technology service over the not so good technology, and it's just a mess. And also, there are bad doctors in Japan too, so I'm not saying that all doctors here are wonderful and magical and so great and divine. There are going to be some bad doctors or dentists or anything like that. So, because there is people who have had bad experiences in Japan as well. So, you just have to shop around here as well. So, I'm not saying they don't exist, but out of all of my doctors, all of them are great. So, thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you all in the next one. See ya! Bye!